employee, an intelligence analyst with the Central Intelligence Agency. Well, thesis has been a failed U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. But no, I think the fact that it was frequented by outsiders, by people from other countries, made it a prime target, because those who want to also hurt Turkey, because again, the entire purpose of these terrorist acts is to hurt the government and the people of Turkey, and to try to make it less likely that foreigners will want to visit Turkey, that tourists will want to come spend money there, and it is a way to damage the people of Turkey. So I think from that standpoint, it was a symbolic target. In this particular case, the individual looks like he did have some specific military training, and that he was familiar with the use of an automatic weapon. And again, the selection of the target, it's both a combination of who is there that you can attack and how accessible is it to get in and out of that particular nightclub. And we saw in that case, it was both a high-profile target featuring many foreigners, and it was easy to get into and out of.
And as you know, Fetullah Gulen is so close to CIA, and they are in relationship.
That CIA would naturally want to have liaison with Turkish intelligence organizations in order to be sure that there was both open communication, sharing of information that would be of mutual benefit, particularly regarding terrorist organizations. But I also recall that back in 2003, on the eve of the invasion of Iraq, that Turkey was not willing to back that effort and was very reluctant to provide support. And I think with the benefit of hindsight, we can see Turkey's position in that was absolutely correct. The United States was very foolish to engage and to start that conflict, because frankly, everything that has unfolded since 2003 and the bloodshed that has swept through the region can be traced, I believe, to that invasion in 2003. So it would be natural for the CIA to want to have an open communication and relationship with counterparts in the government, in the Turkish intelligence services. But how far that cooperation goes, and how far and what the level of communication is has a lot of, Turkey frankly has a lot of control over that. He's a petulant, spoiled child. We call it throwing a temper tantrum. He's punishing Russia for something Russia did not do. The emails that were obtained from the Democratic National Committee came from a leak. An individual, most likely, who was a former staffer. The emails from John Podesta also came from a leak. Again, an individual which had ties, most likely, to the Clinton Foundation. But Russia has become a convenient whipping boy, a scapegoat for many both politicians and pundits in the United States who believe that in an antagonistic relationship with Russia, that somehow that's going to serve U.S. interests. I totally reject that. And I think what Barack Obama did was stupid and counterproductive. His version of an Islamic caliphate. Nonetheless, there's still a very pragmatic aspect to him, and he understands what is ultimately in Turkey's long-term interests. And I think he correctly recognized that Russia's intervention in Syria had turned the tide of the battle, that the rebels were going to lose. And rather than be on a losing side, I think he saw it correctly to reestablish relationships with Russia and look for a way in which both Turkey and Russia can work on mutual interests. Is the West unhappy about that? Sure. But again, if I'm Turkey, I want to do things that are in the interest of my country and that serve the interests of my people. I'm not there to serve the interests of the United States or of France or Britain or of Saudi Arabia. I should be about serving the interests of the people of Turkey. And to that extent, I think President Erdogan has come to his senses to an extent. The CIA record on assassinations, as long as you watch Hollywood movies, it's quite good. If you go into the actual events and actual leaders that have been taken out over time, over the last 60 years, 70 years, I think you find that the CIA's actual success rate is very, very low and not very competent in that regard. And thank God that it's not that competent. I think, frankly, policies of assassination are probably 95% of the time both counterproductive and stupid. Well, ISIS has been, its rise comes out of the ashes of the failed U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003, when the United States disbands the Ba'athist Party, disbands the army, puts Shias in control of the country, and basically ignites a new sectarian strife between the Sunnis and the Shias. That was sort of the seeds out of which ISIS sprang. I think you can point to a variety of countries that have helped facilitate and enable ISIS, which includes the United States, Great Britain, Saudi Arabia. It's one that, frankly, ISIS could have been and should have been destroyed long ago. The fact that they've been allowed to exist this long has been in part because there has been a refusal on the part of all of the interested countries to shut down their money, shut down their ability to be resupplied. You had more foreigners killed in this last one. You know, the unfortunate reality is, particularly news stations like CNN and the BBC, unless you're killing American and British nationals, they don't care. If you're killing a bunch of Turkish citizens, it's tragedy, but they shrug their shoulders and say, it's just some more Turks or just some more Iraqis. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm telling you that's how it is. It's just because if it's a Turk dying is not of any great interest to the average American or the average Brit. That's unfortunate, but that's the truth.